बंगला छायो रंग रंगीला बंगला छायो रंगे रंगीला सदा रंगीले छायो रे मन बायो रे बंगला छायो रंग
और नैना मुरारी गजब ढा गयो हो तोरे नैना मुरारी तोरे नैना मुरारी नैना मुरारी तोरे नैना मुरारी गजब ढा गयो तोरे नैना मुरारी गजब ढा गयो तोरे नैना मुरारी मैं खो अपनी सुध बुध मैं खो अपनी सुध बुध दिलो जान हारी गजब ढा गयो तोरे नैना मुरारी तोरे नैना मुरारी तोरे नैना मुरारी गजब ढा गयो तोरे नैना मुरारी गजब ढा गयो I also feel that it is not only the artist who plays an important role. For every good artist, we need to have a very good audience as well. We need to have listeners for them. And I feel that to some degree, all of us will have to take the responsibility if we want to provide any support to the arts and to encouraging Sarangi. We will all have to take responsibility. In our country today, I notice that artists visiting from overseas, very eminent artists whom we all welcome, people, our Indian listeners, are ready to pay as much as I believe 75,000 rupees per ticket to hear them. And I'm delighted to hear that an artist can attract this kind of ticket sales. But then why don't we see a similar response for even a show that asks for a 750 rupee ticket if it's Indian traditional music? What is it that stops Indian listeners from paying 750 rupees for a wonderful performance of traditional music or Sarangi? Why can they pay 75,000 for somebody else? And I'm not denying the popularity, the stardom, the genius and the brilliance of those artists who actually attract such audiences. But I'm saying that there is a little bit of hypocrisy. We talk about being Indian, pride in being Indian, wanting to preserve Indian traditions and heritage, but we don't want to pay even a rupee to help with that. So I think the responsibility lies on the artist, on gurus, on students, on audiences, organizers, and of course, to some extent, the government. I think there are government schemes that help artists and many government schemes, but perhaps they have not been reviewed for the last 50 years. So the kind of support they offer today is really quite unrealistic. I mean, what is the support of, let's say, 20,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, a grant of that amount, how is it going to help in an entire year? What is it going to pay for? So I think the government also needs to consider what kind of support it is able to give and to enhance the grants or the scholarships or the funding that it is able to provide for the arts. I think that needs a review, and I think we as listeners need to ask that certainly, I mean, we need to start paying to listen to concerts. Today there are streaming platforms, and people say that revenue will come directly to the artists. but those streams are offering really a trickle of money. So I think fairly and squarely, what needs to be done is, whether it's for Sarangi or for any other art form, it needs to be a sustainable and a viable option for artists to take. If an artist has to think 100 times before making a commitment to being a full time musician or a full time Sarangi player, how do you expect them to then carry on their work and to progress with their artistic work? Unless some kind of reassurance is there, audiences are there, and I don't think that there is any formula to attract audiences. There have been attempts by many people. For example, there have been attempts to link classical music with film music and say this popular film music was in a particular rag, but it is not actually the same experience that you get when you listen to the film song and when you listen to a proper rendition of that rag. So many people have tried these things, and they've all been, I'm sure they've helped to some extent. But I don't think there is a formula available for making Sarangi popular. We will first all have to decide whether we want to do anything about it, and whether we are able to do anything else but provide lip service. Unless that is established, I don't think much can happen.